The Rooster Davis and Brad Shigeta Band is right here at the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival, and I am here with Rooster Davis. Main man, how are you?
I'm well, Danielle. How are you?
I'm very excited and hot.
Yeah,
It's hot in
here.
here. Very happy with your music and bringing
Thanks.
all of these wonderful musicians together.
Yeah.
Tell me about your musical project and your trajectory.
It's a Rooster Davis group, and I fell in love with the music out of the New Orleans area, basically because of the piano. I heard this guy named Mac Rebenak play, who's also known as Dr. John. And through him, I discovered Professor Longhair, James Booker, and Fats Domino. These are all players out of the New Orleans area, and the difference on the piano players from there is that they're like the backbone of the band in the same way that guitar is here, and there's the piano and the horns, and they get to play together, and you get to play blues and funk and a little bit of jazz, and it's just crazy fun, particularly as a piano player. So I go to New Orleans like every year. I have for about 8 years now. I started playing this music about 15 years ago. I studied with a couple of piano players from there, and 3 of them actually, and I just want to bring this music back here so that people can hear it. I know I'm kind of taking a little bit of the music out of New Orleans and bringing it back to Canada, so there's a little bit of maybe an identity crisis there, you know? But at the same time, I give it my own treatment. What I principally want to do is say, hey, this is how bands get presented. You can present a band like this. So if you notice, there's no guitar in my band. And it's to leave that space open, because it's what I call it's dangerous, because it leaves a lot of empty space that I got to fill up, and the horn players have to fill up. It makes it a lot more exciting for us. Did that answer the question?
Yeah,
Did
New
it?
Orleans, New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's beautiful that you can bring a little bit of that magic and that essence that you can grab from New Orleans and put it on the stage here at the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival. How do you feel about performing again after
Yeah.
COVID and after, I know you said you had some performances where you had to perform without a crowd. Can you tell me about this experience today?
Is the first time in 4 months I've been able to play with my band live. So my other performances, one was with another friend of mine. I was playing for him, and otherwise I've been playing solo piano a lot. And man, it's good to play. Yeah, it's just you just miss it so much, and you miss the crowd. But if at least when you're playing, you're still having a conversation with the other musicians. You've got a nice context to put it to interact with each other, and really, when that all hits, that's an amazing feeling. Yeah.
Tell me about the musicians you were playing with, having that conversation on stage.
Well, Brad Shigeta, the co-band leader, he recorded my album with me for Saints and Sinners, and we did that basically as a trio. We had a couple guests on a couple tracks, but just piano, drums, and trombone, and that was really fun. He's moved around a couple times since then. He's landed in Vancouver, so now he's part of this community out west here. I just met the drummer, Chris Davis, who's actually principally a trumpet player. He's an excellent trumpet player, but he decided to play drums for us because we had Norm Quinn playing trumpet and Dave Quinn, who's the artistic director for the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival, as you know.
It's amazing. I
Yeah.
do. It was very nice to see that collaboration.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you brought them all together for this performance. And we were talking a little bit about what you did during the pandemic. You said you were writing a new album with Factory. Tell me a little bit about that process, having your isolation time to work on your music.
Yeah. It was interesting. You think you kind of get into that situation, and you hope that you're just going to be like very creative and you're ready to go. And the first 2 weeks are kind of like that. But then the reality started to set in that this could be much longer than we had hoped or anticipated. And it got harder and harder to create within that, but still within that first 2 weeks, I got a lot of writing done. Before COVID had happened, we were able to get into the studio and do 80% of the first two singles. So we've got those done. I was able to do a lot more writing during COVID so far, as well as renovate my basement. And what was the other thing? Doesn't matter. I've been busy.
That's good. You're bringing us
But
new music, which is amazing. We're
Yeah.
definitely going to be looking forward to your album in the upcoming year.
yeah, it'll be out next year, May.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
We're talking about the joy of jazz.
Yeah.
And we were also talking about the conversation you have on the stage, which is one of the things that you love about music and falling in love in New Orleans. Where is that specific moment of joy when you're performing?
There is no one point, but you'll come into it once or twice, or it could be a bunch of different times throughout a song. It might not show up at all, or it could happen and then go for the duration of the song. But basically, when it happens is when the musicians, when our minds all start to think kind of as one. And it's the same thing if you're having a great conversation, like we're having. And when you're just talking and things are flowing and you're not pushing it, but when you get into a conversation and you have to fight, that's how it feels when you're on stage and it isn't working. When you get that joy, that conversation just starts to happen and someone else says something and it's like you just agree with it. There was a couple times tonight when Brad did some things and Chris did some things, because I don't get to play with them very much. And I heard some things that, that I miss Brad that he does. And, you hear it and you're like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. And that is, there's a lot inside of that. That's a lot of joy. That really keeps a lot of us going, I think, in the jazz and blues community, because the music is really based around communication. And then if there is an audience or whatever, you want to project that outwards, and hopefully they'll catch the excitement that you feel when you're playing it.
I think so. I think we feel when the musicians are feeling that joy as well.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anything you would like to add to our audience who is listening, who are going to be looking forward to your new album next year
Yeah.
at the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival?
What would I like to say to them?
Yeah.
Well, if I was going to say something to them, maybe in just regards to, don't give up on live music, don't give up on live performances. Everything passes, and this is something that will pass as well. Remember us. We'll remember. We're remembering you. We're remembering our audiences. We can't wait to bring you new music, and we can't wait to get into a safe festival environment again. And man, we'll see you guys next year. That's what I really hope.
Amazing. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Rooster Davis
Yeah.
and Brachigueta Band. Please enjoy it here at the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival.